Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Vicky the GM, filling in for NornQueenAlexis. She's unfortunately down with the sickness. Apparently she pissed off Nurgle something fierce. However, I am here to go over to some exciting developments in 40k, mostly Necromunda and the Story Forge, as they're calling it, where they forge a bunch of narratives. Starting with the House of Chains, Ogryns in the Underhive. This is something, well, I am way bigger of a fan of Necromunda than Alexis is, mostly because I just like to use the models in the role-playing games, which is really all I can think of using them for. So, let's go check out the new reveal. We've already seen that the House of Chains brings a wealth of awesome stuff for Goliath gangs. Well, it also adds a new gang to Necromunda, the Slave Ogryn gang. Check out these big bruisers, and they do indeed look very cool with a bionic Ogryn arm. Might be a bonehead upgrade. I think either that or it's cranial armor. And then he has a giant Zogoth wrench and a codpiece, of course. How can we forget? In the Underhive, rumors abound about gangs of Ogryns that have rebelled against their overseers and now fight to preserve their freedom. In the Upper Hive, such talk is dismissed, but House gangers know that these reports are true. Well, now you can show these snooty uphivers with your own mob of unruly abhumans. Let's take a look at their models. Alright, things to like. 1. Gigantic power fists with which to punch people. And then, don't mind the middle guy, he's armless. These are, I think, these are meant to be there is a big guy, so to speak, that the House Goliath can take called the, what was the name of it? It was the Jotun Age-grade Servitor Ogryns. I think these might be like a fill-in for them while that happens. So they have a gigantic amount of augmetics. Like one of them has a bionic leg, one of them has a bionic arm, one of them seems to be missing a head or something. I'm not sure what the rightmost guy is supposed to be, but he has a gigantic cannon, which we've seen on the forge. What are they called? The women, the Zarius, that House Goliath is getting. The standard ganger is a slave Ogryn with an intelligence of +9. They're not going to be 9+. They're not going to be bypassing many loot casket locks, but with a strength of 5, they'll soon find an alternative way of opening them instead. Yeah, these look pretty standard for Ogryn rules. I've very little to compare it to since I have an Orlok gang. It's at Alexis's place, but I want to put it together and see if I can run a game against her Genestealer cult. I kind of want to play a few games of Necromunda once I get there. Being bigger and tougher than fighters from other games comes with an associated cost, and slave Ogryns are not cheap to hire. However, they make up for likely being outnumbered with a loyal rule, which rewards your Ogryns for getting stuck in the combat en masse. Loyal. Ogryns are very loyal creatures and form strong bonds with those that live and fight with. That's true. Whenever a friendly fighter making a close combat attack claims an assist from this fighter, that fighter adds 2 to the result of any hit rolls rather than the usual 1. Really cool. And if you have an Ogryn gang, they can probably mess people up. Ogryns also have access to some unique equipment, including augmetic weaponry. These are literally attached to the Ogryn. There are no multiple equipment sets for them. Give your slave Ogryn an augmetic fist and watch them smash anyone who tries to take away their freedom. Yeah, I've unfortunately very little to compare that to. House of Chains features a look at the history of Ogryn slave uprisings in Necromunda, rules for using the Ogryn gang, and full details of weaponry they can use. I'm hoping that they have something called, what was it? It was in the Only War RPG. It was actually not only in Only War, it was also in Warhammer Fantasy. It's a fist weapon they have, which is more like a giant shield in how they use it. Let's see. It also includes a unique bounty hunter that only the Slave Ogryn gang and Outlaw Goliath kings can hire. If you're struggling to stray free, give Thrug 12, better known as Sparky, a call, and he is way smarter than other Ogryn. I wonder if he gets his own unique model. If you're looking for a new way to play Necromunda, the Slave Ogryn gang is perfect for you. What they lack in numbers and intelligence, they more than make up for in strength, toughness, and awesome conversion opportunities. Yeah, I am really looking forward to the kit because there's something to be said that mainline tabletop 40k is moving away from multi-part kits, going more into monopose. It's a trend, not a complete rule. However, where the kit bashing options are all in the Necromunda gangs with their multi-part kits. So I really approve that Necromunda has so many options and things. Let's see. They also have very few shooting options, so if you like your violence up close and personal, the Slave Ogryns will be right up your dark and intimidating Underhive alley. The rules for fielding Slave Ogryn gang can be found in the House of Chains, which is available for pre-order from Saturday, and the Jotun H-grade server Ogryn miniatures will be released later this year. In the meantime, grab a Paladite Subjugator squad so that you're ready to put down these dissident Ogryns. Alright, that's all well and good. But what if I told you there's a cooler thing in this? Revealed animated heroes. When we showed you the trailer for Angels of Death recently, and our awesome media reel last year, there were hints that it wasn't the only animated project in the works. Well, hold on to your flak jackets. Today we bring you exciting news about another series in the pipeline, an animated Warhammer 40,000 anthology. They're making love, death, and robots in 40k. Woo! Today we can show you some tiny but oh so cool teasers from the development of one of the episodes. Helmed by the talented creatives who make up the Storyforge team, where they forge narratives, this new endeavor promises to be a treat for fans of the Dark Millennium. Word on the streets is the first episode is penned by none other than Andy Smiley, the Black Library author who has left a blood-splattered trail of flesh tearers fiction in his wake. He is also in charge of... I believe he's the guy in charge of the media project. Like, the overall director of this. Like, all the animations and stuff. Sure, it might be an animation, but if the tidbits we've heard so far are anything to go by, you can expect all the visceral actions, asterisk. Seriously, heads will explode, limbs will be severed, you're gonna love it. Let's see. That is the hallmark of Warhammer 40,000. This new series doesn't have a name yet, at least not one we can share, but it does have some awesome characters who are currently in search of their voices. When the news hit the Warhammer community office, we were suddenly beset with aspiring Imperial agents to take on the roles. Alright.
There is a terrible darkness descending upon the galaxy, and we shall not see it ended in our lifetimes.
Burn the heretic, the witch, and the alien! But what do they do to me?
Goddamn.
Only the insane have strength enough to prosper.
I declare exterminatus.
There is no such
That's not how you
innocence,
pronounce that.
Only degrees of guilt. These Inquisitors aren't very nice, are they?
Blessed is the mind too small for doubt.
I've always been quite a confident person. I get that.
Don't worry, none of them got the part. Phew.
Okay, so we've had loads of requests to show you guys how to paint non-metallic metals. So in today's paint...
Wrong studio.
Oh, man!
God damn it. Alright. So, what they just... Most of the quotes that they just said were Inquisition quotes, so, well, that gives us a gigantic hint that this is Inquisition. Don't worry, there's be a lot more to confirm that. But it is funny that I recognize all of those quotes, I believe, except for one, the darkness descending upon our galaxy, which all of them are in the Dark Heresy 2nd edition core rulebook, which is, oh boy, I am excited. Well, they did their best. While we're sure you appreciate the enthusiasm of the Warhammer community team, you'll be relieved to hear that auditions have actually already taken place for professional voice actors with experience in animation and TV. The chosen few will voice what will surely become a legendary band of heroes, or villains, depending on your perspective. But who are the characters, we hear you ask? Without giving away too many secrets. We're dealing with the Inquisition after all. Oh, that's good. Some of them are members of an inquisitorial retinue and other agents of the Imperium. Check them out. Alright, so, middle guy. Guy in power armor. Great giant power sword. Bolt pistol. This, if I had to take a wild guess, I would say this is probably the Inquisitor. Maybe. It's hard to tell sometimes. This guy on the left, he has he has an Inquisition belt. Now, before I go on with all of them, there is a slight problem here. If I would dock these people's subtlety score immediately, because all of them had Inquisition iconography on them. Come on, people, subtlety. Well, this is 40k after all, but, you know, if you want to be good at your job, please, you know, don't advertise your Inquisition. But, alright. So, guy on the left. Looks to be highborn. Has some augmetic in his head. Pistol at his side. If that is a... So, there is a weapon called a bolt cane. If he has that, or maybe it's a power cane, I'm hoping that his cane is some sort of weapon. It would be really cool. Otherwise, odds are he's dressed in a mesh cloak or a mesh vest, so his clothing is probably lined with a tiny little interlocking armor. It looks like a real prick, in my opinion. Then on the right, seems to be... Not sure. She gives me a missionary vibe. It looks like... hard to tell if this is power armor or maybe she's a crusader without her helmet. Yeah, I could see it. Alright, here, let's see. We wouldn't want to get on the bad side of these agents of the Imperium. Exactly. Alright, expect Imperial justice to be dealt, probably with extreme prejudice. Yes, we have a female arbitrator with a shotgun and enforcer light carapace and a pistol at her side. Most likely a hand cannon, but could be smaller. But she also has manacles, and yeah, she just looks the part, and she looks really good. Then on the right, we have some type of hive ganger. We reckon this guy bodes well for awesome gunfights when he appears. Yes, looks like a desperado, so he's wielding dual pistols. They look like stub automatics. He seems to have some leather jacket. I have a feeling this guy's going to be jumping around John Woo style. Which, if I had to guess, I could say that all these 5 are a warband, an inquisitorial warband, which I am perfectly okay with. And moving on, we have a Calidus assassin looking really good, actually. This gives me a very Batman, was it Batman Beyond, where Bruce Wayne is super old and some kid takes over? I forget. But it gives me a very, I think that's the name of it, a very Batman Beyond feel. We can't guarantee she'll always look like this. Shape changers can be tricksy. Now, the thing about the assassins is that they can be called upon by the Inquisition, but also the High Lords. So it is, odds are that we probably won't see this character for more than like a scene, which it's going to be a giant twist to see which one this is. And then we have the Ranger. Friend or foe? We'll have to wait a while to find out. This I am curious about. It honestly will depend. It honestly will depend on what order these things are. Because if the Inquisitor is Order of Xenos, either way, he could, depending on how radical he is, we might have an Eldari Ranger, and I am really looking forward to it. Also, we have an Eldar Power Sword and a long rifle, then there's the Ranger armor. I honestly forget what it's called, but Morino in Queen's Court has it. It is kind of funny that this almost seems to be an animated Queen's Court with a few minor changes, but I can see the Dark Heresy influence here. If you think the concept art is cool, this one is going to blow your mind. Yep, we even managed to snatch an early glimpse of what a finished scene looks like. So, if I had to take a wild guess, and I'm everything for wild guesses, let's see. The Emperor's Terror delivered this guy the message that these animated tales are going to be great. I believe it. So if I had to guess, this is probably the Sage character, aka the Savant. So he is normally the part of the Inquisition. Well, he might also be just an Administratum guy. That is usually the exposition dump in any party. So he seems to be in some gigantic archive or data vault. Funnily enough, this character kind of reminds me of a guy I made for the lore series on this channel way long time ago, named Albus Tattersall. He seems to be a very similar figure. Well, minus the whole part of where he looks like he's blind, or someone took out his eyes. Well, we're sure you want to know more about this exciting series. So do we, and as soon as we get more news about it, we'll bring it right to you here and in our newsletter. If you want to be among the very first to see more of this and other up-and-coming media projects, join us in the Warhammer preview at Adepticon in the USA and the Warhammer Fest in the UK later this year. Alexis will be going to Adepticon this year. I'm afraid that I'll miss it, but there will be more Adepticons later. Well, that is that, and this, I think Alexis and I talked on a stream at some point about a Love, Death, and Robots anthology for 40k, where you can just look at a bunch of tiny short stories in 40k and get a glimpse of what it looks like. And that sends a tingle up my spine. Well, in any case, with all of these news being done, I have been Vicky the GM, and I want to thank all the patrons of Alexis for keeping her going. It means a lot to her. You can also check out all the social media stuff. I am horrible at this, but just check the description. I'm bad at this. Anyway, I have been Vicky the GM. Thank you guys for watching, and gals, and I'll see you later.